Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Chicago, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Friday. We made it to Friday, made it to the end of the week. Congratulations, everybody. March 4th, I think. Yeah, March 4th, 2022. Guys, you know what? I have a feeling like the next 2 months are just going to fly by. I mean, before we know it, it's going to be June. I'm just letting you know right now. So March, April, probably May as well. It's just going to fly by. Get ready. It's going to be crazy. But we're here celebrating, enjoying March 4th. Glad you guys are here. Everyone listening in on the podcast, on the audio only version, hopefully you're having a good run out there today. Today was a great day in Chicago, not too cold and not too windy. So, I mean, that alone makes for great running conditions here in Chicago. And it was a little bit sunny as well. So, icing on the cake. And everyone listening in on YouTube later, not live, welcome to you guys too. Hopefully it's, Friday evening now by the time you're watching this. You're relaxing, got the sun in the background as you're just wrapping up the week, getting ready to then, hopefully soon, sit back, relax, maybe put your feet up, have a nice recovery beverage. I got some afternoon coffee, and hopefully you're just doing well. All right, let's see who we got in the chat. Inez is here. He was the first one in and says, "Hey, Kafoozy and everybody, had a good long run with Pip this morning, the dog, as my van was getting a service. 20 miles on an out and back by the Caledonian Canal. Pip was very happy." See, isn't that a great way to do car maintenance? I think that, like, I've been taking my car, you guys know, I've been taking my car to Uncle David in Guttenberg, even though Guttenberg, Iowa is about 250 miles from here. But it's about 20 miles or 15 miles maybe from where my in-laws live, and we see them frequently enough that I can just have him still be the regular mechanic on the car. The car used to be my mother-in-law's. Then we bought it from them. My mother-in-law always took it to her brother to get serviced, so it's the same mechanic's been taking care of this car for the last 180,000 miles. So it's nice, but there's good running out in that area too. So I just drop off. So something that would be a chore becomes something nice, because then it's like, ooh, then I get to go for a nice long run up in the hill. So I just think that more people should do that. I'm going to try to figure out a way to do that with like all the things that I hate doing, is combine the things that I don't like doing or I'm bad at or procrastinate at, and combine it with something that's super fun. That's what I got to do. That's what I do. And I'm glad you're doing that. But getting in a 20-mile run, that is a good long run. How's Pip doing after that? Does she just nap the rest of the day, or is it just like she just needs a bowl of food and some water and she's good? That's amazing. That's a nice long run. Angel Johnson 234 is here, says, "Hi everyone. Are there any overpronators running the Bondi 7s? Just picked up a pair. I want to know how much support they offer." I'm not. I think I'm a regular pronator. I don't think I'm an overpronator. But I will say that I think that it's a pretty wide platform that you're standing on, so I think it's pretty good. But I'll let the other overpronators answer. CCC says, "Hey everyone, welcome." And JC says, "Hey, Kofoozy Run Club. Good to see you, JC." Frank says, and this is a great question I don't know the answer to. Adios Pro 2 video came out today. I said that I love this shoe, but I don't know if I can race in it, because I don't know, something about these energy rods or something. I feel it in my foot for some longer runs, and it just bothers me. So it's kind of like I can enjoy it for workouts where I get regular rest intervals, but like prolonged long runs in them give me a trouble. So Frank says, today though, did the Adios Pro actually win more races than the next percent in 2021? I don't know. I mean, there's so many half marathons that the Adios Pro 2 did well in that I'm not sure. I will say there's an easy way to kind of like, look over it and guess, but I guess you have to figure out, like, at what point do you stop looking at the races? What level of quality of the race, I guess. But my hunch is that the Adios Pro 1 probably won more half marathons than the Vaporfly did in 2020. I think for 2021, my guess is that the next percent probably won more half marathons than the Adios Pro 2. That's my gut. Because after a big race, I see the thing on Instagram. Someone always posts it or shares it, where people will show like the podium, not by athlete, but by shoe, which is my favorite thing. I mean, no disrespect to the athletes, but I also enjoy seeing like what the shoe distribution was in terms of the podium. And I feel like I saw a lot more Vaporfly next percent 2s than I saw Adios Pro 2s. That's my gut. But maybe someone's got some data on that. It's Just Mark says, happy Friday. Just got done with some stretching and it's a beautiful day in Atlanta. Awesome. That's cool. Cat in a box. I always remember this cat in a box in this avatar picture. All right. CCC says, I'm moving to Australia in May. Awesome. So I hope the time until then flies by. Really? You hope it flies by? I mean, I guess that means you're very excited to move to Australia. So that sounds awesome. But I'm also like, if I were to move to Australia, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm moving to Australia in 3 months. I've got so much I got to get done. That would kind of freak me out. I mean, I dislike moving so much. And growing up, we moved around quite a bit. So this place where I live now is the longest I've ever lived anywhere by far. At one time. And we've lived here in this same apartment for almost 15 years now. That's a long time. It's a very long time. But congratulations on the move, and hopefully it's smooth sailing. Chris Dyke with the wave emoji says, hi, what's going on, Chris? And Tim the RD says, hey, everyone, finally made it to a live stream. Currently halfway into the David Goggins 4x4x48 challenge. Whoa. Is there like, they have it regular. I didn't know that there was one, like, are you just doing a 4x4x48? Or is this like not, I don't want to say sanctioned, but like so he usually sets up like a time where everyone does it. I didn't realize that was going on today. Awesome. Really cool. All right. It's Just Mark says, I got some of the Brewdog AF beers after your review yesterday. The AF Beer 30 coming up soon. Nice. That sounds good. I do. I kind of wish I had one right now. Afternoon coffee is good too, but that New England hazy, that was tasty. I could go for one of those right now. Unfortunately, the rest of them are still all warm. I haven't refrigerated them yet. I got to get some of those in the fridge for this weekend. Sue N says TGIF, everyone. Hey, Sue. And CCC says, mixing tasks. I like washing up while watching the Kofuzi live stream. I feel like that's a great way to use this. And I think a lot of people are like doing dishes, cleaning up after dinner. I mean, that's when I do a lot of my YouTube consumption as well. So, I mean, I take no offense to that. He says, that's what's happening right now in my house. Awesome. Cool. I don't know why I enjoy that so much, but I'm glad that that's on and like kind of in the background. All right. JC said the cold is coming back. Still a week away, but possibly 25 degrees for the St. Patty's 5K on the 12th. That's a chilly run. Right around then is when the Shamrock Shuffle is. I think the Shamrock Shuffle is the same weekend as the LA Marathon. So that's a big racing weekend. At least this year. LA Marathon, Shamrock Shuffle, and the New York City Half. I think, is it the New York City Half or is it the Brooklyn Half? I'm not sure what it's called. The Roadrunners one. But I know that the Shamrock Shuffle every year, it's always like, you're not sure what weather you're going to get, but it's probably going to be really cold. So like, but 25 degrees though is a whole different animal. Definitely. And it says about Pip on that 20-mile run, Pip could have done double that. She was so happy to chill out this afternoon when I went back to work though. Fair enough. That's awesome. Like, how like they say like some dogs have really short memories. It's just like, do you think they're like, which I don't agree with that. I feel like dogs remember a lot more than they let on. But do you think they're just like, that was great. I could go for another walk outside right now. Like, even though she just ran 20 miles. That's incredible. Awesome. Eric's here. Good to see you again. Eric says, howdy y'all, here for a few minutes. Welcome. And Martha's here too. Really cool. Good to see everybody. So I do want to say, just for anyone who's new here or came here after watching the Adios Pro 2 video and wanted to ask any specific questions, I do have it handy. Not that I really need the prop to be able to talk about the shoe, but if you have any questions about it or any of the other Adidas shoes, feel free to drop it into the chat down below. I'll try to keep up with you guys in the chat. Sometimes you guys are faster than I am. But if I miss your question, don't be shy about copy pasting it in there again. So to make sure that if you came here with a question, I'd love to answer it. And if you have any other running questions too, feel free to drop it in. Just want to make sure everyone feels welcome to chime in and participate in the chat if you want to do that. But if you want to just hang out and just observe for today, that's totally cool too. All right. Louis says, couldn't get my run in the morning, but so you might not get one in today. It's going to rain all day. Yeah, sometimes that happens. Do you have access to a treadmill or something? Or if it's not going to rain bad, maybe you can hop in there for a little bit. We'll see. CR has a question. Says, do you think the Nike Invincible will be a good shoe for a half marathon? Will be my first half marathon, so not really making a time goal per se. Completed my longest non-stop run of 75 minutes today. In that situation, I think the Invincible would be a great choice. If you already have it, I wouldn't go out and buy it to pick that for a half marathon. But if you have it already and you've been training with it, I think that's a great thing to do, especially for your first half marathon. Go with something that you're familiar with and you have that experience with. If it's what you ran with for your longest nonstop run for today, I think that the Nike Invincible is a fantastic choice. But let me know. If you're looking for just any other recommendation, and we're kind of looking at the Invincible and we're not sure, let me know what else you've been kind of running in to get a sense of what you like, and I can make some other recommendations too. But I think for a lot of people, for their first races of pretty much any distance, whatever you're training in is probably going to be good enough, unless it's very old. So I would say don't worry about it too much. At least the shoe choice, kind of go with what is working, because when you're newer to running, it's hard to kind of figure out, I like this shoe, so is this other shoe going to really work for me or not? So it's kind of your own experience is probably I think the biggest thing that I would rely upon in some of those early races. All right. Let's see. Cody Davis says, hello, everyone. Good to see you, Cody. And Martha says, Mike, my experience with dog sledding in Alaska is that the dogs come in from pulling, lie down panting for a while, and in no time they're jumping up and down ready to go again. Man, we got to figure out what they're doing to recover. How did they recover so fast? That's what we got to figure out. Because can you imagine if humans could do that? That'd be pretty awesome. Christian Schobringer is here again, says, good evening with a wave. Awesome. And it says, my last border collie, Meg, would drop a ball at my feet when we came home after a long run. She was ready for more every time. Dogs are the best, aren't they? Yeah, my dog, we've never done any running together. And I think it was at some point over this, I think not this summer, but 2 summers ago, where I finally got faster than the dog. He's a French Bulldog mix, so he's not a speed demon. But what he lacks in speed, he makes up for in stubbornness. So sometimes we would let him off leash at grandma's house, and then he would start running off into the neighbors' yards and stuff. And so I'd have to go get him. At one point over the summer, he started making a break for it, and I started running after him, and he was looking back at me and started picking up this pace a little bit. And then I was like, oh no, not today. Granted, the dog was 11 at the time. So, but I'm still not today. I'm going to catch you. And I ran up and I caught him. And he was so surprised. He was like, what's happening? So, I finally, it took him to be a senior dog for me to finally catch up. All right. Nick Lackey says, my first half marathon tomorrow in the Woodlands, Texas. Any tips? Aiming for 1:35, and it's definitely attainable based on training. I would say take the first 2 miles out a lot easier than you think you need to. I'm not familiar with the route for the Woodlands half marathon, so I can't give you any insight into the course, but I would say take the first mile or two a little bit easier than you think you need to. And also, to piggyback off the comment that I don't know the route, I would make sure you check the route. Check to see if there's any surprises that you want to be aware of, like if there's a sudden elevation gain or if it's hilly at the end or things like that. So you can kind of mentally kind of prepare and have some strategy for how you're going to approach that kind of thing. Other than that, have a great time and let us know how it goes on Monday so we can give you a cowbell, because as long as you finish, it's going to be a personal record. So can't wait to hear about how it went, Nick. Good luck. Brian E says, question, if you still had the Adios Pro version 1, would you race a marathon in it? I don't know, if I had the Adios Pro 1 and the Adios Pro 2 and I was like, okay, I have to run a marathon in one of these 2 shoes, I'd probably pick the 1. Here's the thing that's very different about it. I think that they stiffened up the energy rods in the Pro 2, and then that's why they had to carve out the foam. So I think it's stiffer, although the version 1 was still really stiff, if I recall correctly. But I think that another difference, and we're talking about 2 millimeters here, but they both had the same stack height in the heel, but the Adios Pro 2 has a 10 millimeter drop and the Adios Pro 1 had an 8 millimeter drop, if I remember correctly. So maybe that's why I never had that foot problem in the Adios Pro 1 that I'm having in the Adios Pro 2. It's hard for me to imagine that two millimeters of foam would make that much of a difference. But maybe if the rods are stiffer plus less foam, I don't know. I'm just not sure why. I don't think they needed to go to the 10 millimeter drop versus the 8. Again, not that 2 millimeters makes a huge amount of difference, but I don't know. I just like more foam in the forefoot. So, but yeah, I'm starting to think that I like the Pro version 1 more than the Pro 2 looks better and it seems more like, look good, feel good. It feels more exciting to wear the 2, but I think the version 1 may have been the better shoe. Great question. I hadn't thought of it that way. All right. Lester Luna says, my Adios Pro 2 has a weird popping sound, and I think a rod snapped. Whoa. If you're thinking that a rod snapped, that's got to mean it didn't happen in like the exposed area, which is right where I would think that it would happen, like right here. But how else would you know if the rod snapped? A weird popping sound. I've never had a popping sound. The only sounds that I ever get from running are like if I have my key in the same pocket as my door, like my the lobby door key card. Sometimes those will rattle. And then the other thing that makes noise when I run is my shoelaces. I forget what those things are called. The plastic part at the end. There's a technical term for that. Sometimes that slaps my Stride foot pod and it makes a really annoying click, 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 click sound every time. So, but I've never, but that I think is probably very different than what you're describing. I've never heard of anyone snapping a rod. Crazy. I think you should try and send it back to Adidas and see what they say. They probably wouldn't. They'd be like, oh, it's broken, or we'll send you a different one. Or maybe they'd be like, sorry. But I'm sure they weren't like, we researched it. We actually cut yours open. And in fact, it was. I don't think they would give you that. Do you still like running in it, though? That's what I would want. Because if you don't, you might as well try to cut it open and see if it is, in fact, snapped. But then how would you be able to be sure that it didn't snap while disassembling the shoe? That's the other thing. Interesting. Shannon in Sirius says, hi, Co-Fam. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you, Shannon. Whew, we made it. This week flew by for me. I don't know if it flew by for you guys, but I'm like exhausted at the same time. Like last week went by really slow. It was just like a very tough week, and I was exhausted. This week flew by, and I'm still exhausted. So there's that. I don't know what that means. Yeah, so CR says, he was asking about the Invincible. He would also be interested in other shoes and maybe in the running in the Endorphin Speed. If you've been running in the Endorphin Speed, I would say race in the Endorphin Speed. Unless you're like, that shoe's got like 300 miles on it or something. I would say run your first half marathon in the Endorphin Speed. If that's been treating you well on your longer runs, stick with that one. Because I think that is a fantastic half marathon shoe. And I think that it's going to be great for your first one. So I would just stay with that. Unless you're really looking for something to buy. If you have the Endorphin Speed, I think some good shoes to pair with that could be like the RC Elite 2 for a half marathon racer. If you're looking for a carbon plated option, I think that'd be a lot of fun. I'm not sure I would really recommend the Endorphin Pro for someone's first half marathon just because it is a bit of a stiffer foam. It's not as soft. Trying to think of what else I think would make for a really great. I think the Endorphin Speed is probably one of the best choices out there. I'm thinking maybe an Adios Pro. Not an Adios Pro. The Adios 6 could be a fun one. But again, if it's your first half, that might be not enough foam underneath. So I would say the Endorphin Speed's a really great choice. But, I don't think the Invincible was a bad one, too. So, because then you could still wear that for the race and then also still have it for a lot of training after your first half marathon as well. So, it's not like you're buying it for the race. You get a lot of use out of it afterwards, too. Sean Devlin says, happy Friday, y'all, with a wave emoji. What's going on, Sean? How are you? Let's see. Cody Davis says, when it comes to running, he cannot keep up with his golden. That's fun. That's fun. Oh, yeah. I haven't been on a run with a dog in a long time. The other day I was running just today I was running, and someone's dog like wanted to chase me, but the person had the dog on a leash. And I was like, that would have been okay. They were like yelling at the dog, and I wanted to be like, no, I'm cool. But I'm sure it's not about like my being cool with it or not. I'm sure they were trying to train the dog to not chase after runners. But yeah. Today my dog is pretty chill though. He's not like being weird to me today. He's just taking a nap over there in the corner. I'll take it. I like it. Frank says, if I run with my dog, I generally have to have a game of fetch as a cool down. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Awesome. All right, Emma's here. Says, happy Friday, all. A little late, but I made it. Very cool. I am on for this weekend. So today, like Sunday, will be 2 weeks from the LA Marathon, and I didn't plan things that well. Like I had my numbers all wrong, so I thought I still had 3 weeks left, even though I knew I didn't have 3 weeks left. Just the way my long runs were like laid out, and so I'm debating whether or not to go for like a 20-miler. I haven't done any 20-milers in this build-up, but I don't think that I really have to. It just feels weird to not have. I think my longest run this build-up has been like 17 and a half, maybe 18 miles, which I feel like that's okay. And I'm also like, well, I'm already coming in a little bit tired. I don't want to overdo it, but I also don't want to ease off the gas too much too soon. And I've already been kind of easing off the gas the last 2 weeks. So I'm like, so does this Sunday have to be a big day or just, I'm not sure. The other thing is, it's supposed to be decent weather tomorrow. It's supposed to be even warmer on Sunday, but really windy. And I'm like, I don't want to fight wind for 3 hours on Sunday. So I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll see. That's just my thoughts for the weekend. Also, my kids' birthday parties are coming back. So my daughter's going to a birthday party today and a birthday party tomorrow. So that'll be fun. I got to fit that into the schedule as well. Matt Bayer says for his Endorphin Speeds, he says they're a great shoe, have about 250 on his V1s and showing little signs of wear. Nice. Matt also enjoys, are these the Takumi Sens? That looks like Takumi Sens. It's really pretty. Looks nice. Carlos Griego says, yo from New Mexico, feeling more like spring here. Awesome. Yesterday, my wife and I sat down and we're looking at the calendar trying to plan, April is going to be an absolutely crazy month for us. And then to add on to the insanity, we're like, well, there's also spring break. Should we do something? And normally for spring break, we like to try to do a water park because kids love swimming and we want to do water parks. But it's the water parks are usually in Wisconsin and it's still very much winter, even in April. And so that means a lot of indoor time. And we're like, I don't know if we feel good about being that indoors with that many people in the Wisconsin area for that long. So we're thinking, well, let's just go somewhere warm because I think if the kids have some hiking to do during the day and a pool that they can go to, whether it's indoors or outdoor heated, that'll be plenty for them. So we're thinking about Arizona, and I'm like, well, we've never been to New Mexico. We've never been to Nevada. Well, I've been to Las Vegas, but I don't think that counts. So we're like, well, maybe we should try somewhere else, somewhere we could just rent a place that's got a kitchen and near some good trails that I can run on, and then also that I can take the kids hiking on. So, yeah, I've had New Mexico and that region of the Southwest on my mind. Bryce Blankenfield says, yo, what's going on, everyone? What's going on, Bryce? Good to see you. And Rehoof says, I usually watch later, but I had to stop by to let you know that Project Wave is a success. You ran by me twice last Sunday and waved both times, and it made me so happy. Awesome. Really cool. I'm glad, too, because I've been talking about how I've been doing it for a while, and so now I have proof that I have, in fact, been doing it. And today, I had a lot of, people that I thought were not going to wave back at all, and were just going to, kind of ignore me and, go. and I did the wave. I felt like I've been doing it a little bit earlier than I have been before, just to make sure people have a chance to see me. And then when I waved, people were like, "Oh," and then they gave me a big smile and a wave back, and I was like, "That's cool. There we go. Now we're all in a good mood." I think it helped today that I was in a better mood too. I wasn't struggling as much as I was yesterday, so maybe that helped too. But and also the weather's nicer today than yesterday too, so maybe. But I think it's good. I think it's good. And I felt like it was fitting today because I was thinking a lot about waving and Project Wave, and I was listening to the Believe in the Run podcast. It was a long one today. It was perfect. It was the exact length of my run, so it ended up being perfect. So like it was all working out. It was all work. I was like, I just felt like very surrounded by friends in a lot of ways, and friends of all kinds. So yeah. Emma says she just ordered the Endorphin Shift version 2, gone through 2 pairs of the version 1. Looking forward to trying them. I have a brand new pair of Endorphin Shift version 2 sitting in the bedroom. And like I can't get myself to try them. I'm like I should, cuz if I wait too much longer, the 3s are going to come out and then I'll have just missed out on a review. I feel bad to not review a shoe that was sent to me. I have 2 pairs of shoes. The other one is there's a Float Ride Energy Trail that Reebok sent me, and I think it's pretty much just like beefier lugs on a regular Energy, and not even that much beef. It looks kind of like a Shield version, like if you want to do like a Nike comparison. But it looks really nice, and I kind of want to take it out for a run. But I'm like, I don't know when I'm gonna fit those in. Like the thing with the Shift though is like, there's so much stuff in it that I feel like it's gonna disagree with me. I'm just worried about that. I know that there are some diehard fans, but it's something that I'm like, I've been procrastinating on it. But maybe this is the message that I need to like just go out there and get it done. Cody Davis says, once your current pair of Metaspeed Skies are done, are you going to get another pair? I was going to get another pair now, but you can't buy any right now. They're all sold out. Everything is sold out. So like, I don't know if you guys saw, there is a third color now of the Metaspeed Sky. It's just getting yellower and yellower. It's getting brighter and brighter. So there's like the red one, the Tokyo version. And then there was another one that had like red and like a little bit of yellow, like they call it like sunburst or something like that. So like mostly red, a little bit of yellow. Now the new one is like reversed. It's mostly yellow with a little bit of red. And normally I'm not a big fan of like red and yellow together in the same thing. It kind of reminds me of McDonald's. But it's really working, I think, on this one. And Emma Bates just had put something on Instagram where she's got her new pair. And I'm like, oh, that looks nice. But I was trying to figure out a way to comment that on her post without making it sound creepy, but I do really want the shoe. So I wanted to get I'm not sure. I kind of want to run in like the Metaspeed Sky that I have, or like the Tokyo edition. I'm not going to save it around till next year's Tokyo Marathon. So I was thinking I want to race with it because it's the LA Marathon is kind of like my replacement Tokyo. So I was going to race in that one. But it's got 114 miles in it. I think that there's plenty of life left in it. But I was like, I do want to kind of do a long run and maybe some workouts in it. And at that point, I might get up to like 150 miles, and then I'm not sure. So I was like, well, let's just buy another one in case. So that way I can run as many times as I want in the current one. And then if I feel like I need to, I can run in a fresh pair for the race. But I went to go look online for them. I couldn't find any of them, any of the colors. In my size. Maybe there's just been a restock. I don't know. Hopefully, I'll keep checking. But last time I checked was like 2 or 3 days ago, or maybe longer than that, maybe a week ago, and I couldn't find any. So like, if anyone knows where to get a size 9, let me know. I'll get it. All right. Looks like Remy's here. Says, made it, friends. What did I miss? Good to see you, Remy. How are you? Hopefully things are warming up in the Boston area for you. Carlos Griego says he ran in the Puma Velocity Nitro for the first time yesterday and loved it. See, okay, so also on that same note, I wanted to get the Puma Velocity 2 because I didn't try the Velocity 1. And I saw a lot of the reviews, I saw that people are reviewing it. I try not to peek ahead of time. But I saw that people are reviewing it, and I was like, oh, okay, well, let me try to get it. I thought that the original launch date was supposed to be like February 27th. And this is when I looked at it like originally early February. And then I looked at it again last night. And last night, or maybe 2 nights ago, and it said that the launch date is now going to be, for the Velocity 2, is not till March 9th. So that's a bummer. But I don't know, maybe I should just go ahead and get a version of, a pair of the version 1. Maybe not do a full review of it, but just to have it for comparison's sake. And also just to, because I'm itching for some new shoes. Although I got 2 very cool new shoes that I've been waiting for a very long time for in the mail the other day. Now I just got to figure out like a time to go test them out and fit that into like a marathon taper and stuff too. So that'll be coming up soon. I can't wait to do that. That'll be fun. Oh, new Vetra. The part at the end of the shoelace is the aglet. That's right. I always forget that word. But it is a word I enjoy quite a bit. All right, I'm going to scroll down. Sorry if I... oh, man, I'm way behind you guys in the chat. So if you had a question, you're going to have to repeat it. I'm sorry because I missed it. Brian Nee says, I saw that Kipchoge may be running Tokyo in the Alpha Fly 2. I hope so. That'd be amazing. I didn't buy any Alpha Flies in 2021. I had bought one in 2020, I think. And then I ran in that in 2020 and then to early 2021. I didn't get any other ones in 2021. If they come out with a version 2, and if it's like different, I mean, if it's like an upper update, you know, like what they did with the Vaporfly Next Percent, I probably will pass. But if they get a new one, I'm interested, you know, so I'll probably pick one of those up. I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, I feel good about him, you know, winning in Tokyo. I mean, after all, he just got the gold medal in Tokyo, and he like demolished the field. Is that too hard of a word? He did really well in Tokyo, in the Olympics, big stage, the biggest stage. Now he's coming back, and they've got stuff like, you know, the Abbott World Majors. He's got like the 3. It's kind of like the 6 stars. He's got like 3 of them like lit up, like for the ones that he's won. He's got like the 3 that he hasn't won not lit up yet, and he's like, time to get another star or something like that. I'm like, I mean, I guess he's been pretty open about he wants to go there to win. I mean, he's not like, I want to do well and have a good showing. You know, he just want to test his fitness. When he goes somewhere, he wants to go to win. But it's just like, I don't know. It seems a little bit like more aggressive than he normally is. So it'll be interesting. That's going to be this weekend, Sunday. Angel Johnson 234 says, pretty sure the Roadrunner has the Metaspeed Sky 99. All right, I'll go check that after this. Because I thought I looked there. I thought I looked at Roadrunner Sport. My usuals that I look at are Roadrunner Sports, Fleet. I don't always look at Fleet Feet, but I usually look at Roadrunner Sport, Running Warehouse, and then the brand. Like those are my 3 that I always go to. And if like I don't see it there, then like I'll just do like a general Google search and do like Google Shopping and see what pops up. And like the only thing that popped up on like Google Shopping was like eBay. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. So I'll take a look. Thanks, Angel. JC said, ran 9 miles in the Rebel version 2 yesterday, almost 200 miles and still some nice bounce. Love that shoe. I wish I loved that shoe as much as everyone else does. I just think that there's not, I mean, maybe it's because my feet are a little bit on the soft side, but like, I just feel like it's never enough foam there for me. So I only use it for like workout days. I did one easy run in it, like I think last week, maybe the week before. And I was like, this does not suit me as like a regular daily trainer type shoe. All right, it's just marked as time for my last work call of the week, and then it's AF beer time. Nice. Have a good weekend, everyone. Well, hope you enjoy. Hope the call goes by quickly. Eric Paramount said, there's too many shoes and the budget can't handle it. I know the feeling. I mean, I even get a lot of them sent to me, but yeah, it's a lot there's a lot of shoes. There's so many shoes, so little time. It's a great problem to have, though. Ed Chan says Kipchoge was impressive at the Olympics. I don't know if he demolished the field, but there was very little drama when he won. I know, yeah. It's not like it was like super close. Yeah, I mean, it's like the second place had him in like sight distance, you know. But I also don't think that he was like, you know, really pressing at the end. Not to say he was jogging it in by any means, but yeah. All right, Matt Berg has got a question. Says, once I replace my Endorphin Speed 1, would you recommend the Endorphin Speed 2, Endorphin Pro 2, or any other shoe? I also have the Adios 6 and the 2 Chemisen 8s in the rotation. I think that, like, well, what's your daily trainer? I mean, because, like, I feel like I would use the Endorphin Speed 1 and the Adios 6 the similar way, but maybe you're using the Endorphin Speed 1 more as your daily trainer. I would say if you like the Endorphin Speed 1 as more of like a daily trainer shoe, I would think in my mind what does the same thing similarly well, I think is the Rincon. I think that works really. I mean, they feel very different, but I feel like in terms of like it's a shoe that can go very fast, it's lightweight, but also can handle just regular everyday running as well. So that might be one to look at. Because then if you had like Rincon 3 as your daily, Adios 6 is more of like a longer run shoe, speed shoe, and then the Chemisen 8 as your race and workout shoe, I think that would kind of make more sense. I don't think that I would replace the Endorphin Speed with the Endorphin Pro. And here's the other thing. I think, you know, I've spent a lot of time talking about how the Endorphin Speed 2 is like the exact same shoe as the Endorphin Speed 1. I might have to take that back. I'm starting to think that the Endorphin Speed 2 is a little bit firmer of a foam than the Endorphin Speed 1. I wish I had enough space to hold on to shoes for a little bit longer so I can, like, you know, once they both get to like 100 miles, then compare, you know. Because I'm starting to think that I'm like, this Endorphin Speed 2 isn't quite as soft as I remember the Endorphin Speed 1. So that's kind of my thoughts on it so far. I think that there's still a lot of Endorphin Speed 1 out there in the marketplace. So I think that you might be able to still find it. If you want to just get the same one again, that's always an option. Mika says, at least Asics Europe is stocked with the new color. The old one seems sold out. Oh, the yellow one? Is the yellow one out today? Oh, maybe it came out today and that's why I'm a beta photo of it. I'll have to go check. Because if I can get the yellow one, I will like the yellow one. I'll get that one. Bryce Blankfield's backing me up on that Rincon 3. He says, I'm enjoying the Rincon 3 Smart workout so far. I mean, I feel like it's had a lot of, I mean, it's more of like a duck of a shoe for me. I mean, basically a daily trainer. You know, not the best swimmer, but swims. Not the best flyer, but flies. Not the best walker, but can waddle along the ground. That's what I mean by like a duck. Because like I've done like Yasso 800s in it. I've done easy runs in it. I've done threshold workouts in it, long runs. It does everything pretty good. I really like the Endorphin Speed 3. It's like, it's not, you know, it's kind of like the boring boyfriend in like in the romantic comedy movie, the one that gets dumped for like the scruffy choice, you know, that needs to be like the lost puppy that needs to be rescued character. Anyway, that's what I think about the Rincon 3. It's a good one, not to be overlooked. Martha says, it seems like Kipchoge wants to do New York and then Boston. I think we touched on it earlier. Maybe he'll do New York this year and Boston in 23. Oh, wow. You think, well, that makes sense. Because he's not going to do Tokyo and Boston right away. I mean, the elite field's already been announced. But I suppose there's still time for that elite field in New York to be announced. That's pretty impressive. I think that makes a lot of sense, Martha. Ed says about the Rebel 2, he says, I wasn't blown away by the Rebel version 2 initially, but it really grew on me. It doesn't have the pop like a Nova Blast, but it's so smooth. See, I completely agree, and I know what you're talking about. But I just feel like there's not enough, like, there's too much road feel for me on the shoe. But I think I know what you're saying. Maybe I need to, like, basically kind of chew on it for a little bit longer. Maybe that'll, like, toughen it up a little bit. Or toughen my feet up a little bit, either one of the two. Yeah, so he does. The Matt Bear says he's doing the Adios 6 for his daily, which I took the Adios 6 out for an easy run the other day. And it was like the Boston 9. Pretty good. Endorphin Speed 1 for longer runs and some tempo. Yeah, that makes sense. So then if you're looking to replace that, I think that the Rincon, I still think the Rincon 3 is a good choice. JC says, what's the consensus on the Endorphin Pro Plus? I have not run in it. It did not, an upper update did not really interest me on the Endorphin Pro. I mean, if people were going to say like, yeah, that different upper really makes it feel like the shoe softens up a little bit, you know, then I'd have been like, okay, now I'm interested. But no one really said that. And so I think main reviews that I saw of it were from Believe in the Run. I think multiple people there ran in it. And they're all like, the upper's better. Is it worth the extra money better? They weren't sure. And so like I was like, that's enough for me for a shoe that I wasn't really that excited to try out, to go out and get. And then, you know, I don't know. It didn't strike me as something I had to go get. They say it's better. I don't know. I just didn't understand why, like, I didn't understand the Endorphin Pro Plus thing. It didn't make sense to me. Why not just like, I don't know. A lot of it just confused me. Carlos says, for my legs, the Hokas have not worked for me as well as I'd hoped. That's just me. Tried the Mach 4 and the Clifton 8. Ooh, interesting. I feel like those are like the best places to start. Did you guys see the Running Warehouse and Jamie video about how to get into Hokas? It's pretty good. That just came out like a couple days ago. It's been a lot of fun. It's been fun seeing Jamie on, like in those all those Running Warehouse videos. I've been enjoying that. Yeah, that's interesting. I wouldn't know where else. I mean, like, I feel like, if you've tried the Mach 4 and the Clifton 8s and you didn't like your experiences, I'm like, you gave it a fair shot. That's okay. You know, maybe it's not for you. And that's all right. Martha says, I hope Kipchoge doesn't want to go back to London for redemption instead of Boston. Because it is about the same time of year. Interesting. I mean, I think that he's going to want to save Boston for last, though. Interesting. Cameron Ty Johnson says, in my opinion, the Pro Plus upper did somehow make it feel softer and springier. Okay, well, that's where were you earlier? I needed you, Cameron. Maybe I should try it then. Something about the lockdown and the lighter weight. It turns over really well. Not worth the extra money, but it is one of my favorites. Okay, see, all right. Now I'm still on the fence. I'm still thinking, no, not even on the fence. I still think I'm not going to review it. I'm excited for the Endorphin Pro 3. Very excited from it. Looks very different. And Saucony has been doing such a good job with the uppers. So it's like, the other thing was like, they're like, oh, it's a lighter and better upper. I'm like, then why didn't you make the Endorphin Pro 2 that? That's where I remember like being the big thing. Because like you made an Endorphin Pro 2 that was very similar to the Endorphin Pro 1. So then you made a different upper. Why wasn't that the 2 and not the 1? Like that part didn't make sense to me. But yeah, I mean, a lot of times people do complain, like I just did, about like, oh, it's just an upper update. But like Nike does that every other year with the Pegasus. Like 1 year it's a midsole update, the next year it's an upper update. And every year the shoe feels different. Even though one of these 2 years it's an upper update. It makes a big difference in how the midsole feels. I get that. But yeah. It's good to know that it's better. But it's hard to also imagine at the same time them making a better upper than what's already on the Endorphin Pro 2. It's such a good upper. Yeah. Sean Devlin says, I really enjoyed long runs in the Mach 4. Going to wear them for Boston, I think. I think that's a pretty good choice for a lot of people for a marathon. Plenty of cushion for a long time on feet and still turns over really well and feels pretty lightweight. Dad Bud on the other hand says, Mach force me legs feel dead. Endorphin speeds for life. There you go. I wonder if there's a correlation. Like people that, I don't know, but I enjoy both the Mach 4 and the endorphin speed. But I wonder if people that feel strongly about, like against the Mach 4s, love the endorphin speed. I wonder if that's like normally like I have a feeling that's probably a pretty high correlation. Maybe not the inverse, but I think in the way that you're doing it, Dad Bod Runner, I think that I have a feeling that's probably pretty popular. Jason Dawn says, I hope Kipchoge runs Chicago so you come to the shakeout run. Oh, that's funny. Can you imagine that? He's like, I heard about this shakeout run. I decided I would come by. And I'd just be like, hi. I wouldn't know what to do. It'd be a Wayne's World moment. You know, like, we're not worthy. He wouldn't come. He wouldn't do that. I can guarantee that. Although I suppose if he does, you know, I'm just going to shoot the shot and invite him. All right, Cameron Ty Johnson said that Endorphin Pro Plus with the new upper puts it up closer with the Metaspeed and the Vaporfly, to be honest. It has almost a super fast turnover roll feel of the Speed Elite with a more super foam. Okay, I see what you're saying. I remember the Speed Elite. That shoe was great, but it just did not have enough midsole. I mean, I feel like that's a 5K shoe, maybe a 10K shoe, maybe. But like that was not a marathon shoe. Yeah, I don't think so. What happened to Skechers Performance? They're still making shoes. I mean, they made the Max Road, right? Robbie loves that shoe. I think a lot of people like that shoe. And then, are they making more Go Runs? Are they in a new version yet? Are they making a new Razor yet? I don't know. I haven't like looked at them in a while. Just don't know. All right. A-Talk says, hey, Co, I'm getting conflicting views on the Adidas Primex. Based on the tech, many say it's for speed, yet many others say for long recovery runs. It's easy on the legs. Thoughts? I think that it's not really for either of those. The way that I like to use it is for long runs that are fast. So, like, I'm not going to use it for, like, 5K pace repeats, right? But I am going to use it for, like, my long run this weekend. I'm either going to run in that or the Carbon X3, one of those two. And the reason why I love to run in the Primex is, like, before CIM, I did a long run when I was in New York. I was there for the New York Marathon, and then while I was there that weekend, I didn't run the marathon, but I did a long run while I was there. It was, I think, a 20-mile run or maybe a 22-mile run, where it was 4 miles on, 1 mile off, 4 miles at marathon pace, and then 1 recovery mile, and then repeating that for like 4 times. So it gets like 20 miles. And like a workout like that, that's a really big workout. 16 miles at marathon pace effort. It's a lot. It's a lot of time on feet. It's a lot of time at effort. It's a big workout. That's something that I feel like the Primex is designed for. If I'm just like, I want to go out there for 3 hours easy, that's not what I'm going to pick. Or if I'm going to be like, I had a big workout yesterday, now I just want to do like an easy 45 minutes, just getting the legs turned over. Similarly, it's not what I'm going to pick. It's what I would, if I have a really big, long workout, then it's what I'm going to pick. And that's where it's useful for. So when they say it's like good for recovery, you're not using it on the recovery run. It's about like, it's good to help you recover faster overall because it's not breaking you down as hard. Does that make sense? So like, that's the way that I like to use the Primex. And I think that anyone that likes the Primex, I think is pretty much similarly aligned. There are lots of people that don't like the Primex. It's a very tall shoe. It's a very wobbly shoe because it's just so tall. So a lot of people have a hard time with it. But of the people that like it, I think they're liking to use it for long runs that have a little bit of intensity to them, not just, going out for a big group run and we're going to be just running around all day. That's not really how I would use it. And I would also not use it for those I ran my threshold repeats yesterday and now I need a really soft shoe to recover in. I'm not going to reach for the Primex. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. All right. I think that's a good place to end it for today. Thanks everybody for tuning in. No more live streams until Monday, but we'll, oh, that reminds me, I got to think of something to have for the Monday mukbang next week. But we'll do a Monday mukbang on Monday. And then over the weekend, we'll have some more videos. I think the next video that comes out is going to be about these. I've got the shocks, not aftershocks anymore. They're just shocks. They're the, what are they in here? No, they're somewhere else. They're the Open Run Pro. So I'm trying the bone conduction earbuds again. So I think that's probably going to be the next video that comes out at some point over the weekend. But until see you guys again on Monday, though, have a good weekend out there, everybody. Enjoy your long runs. If you're racing, have great races and let us know how it goes on Monday. Can't wait to hear all about it. And be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.